لقاء مثير مع مستر مؤسس منصة بايبت. شو صار في اللقاء الأخير مع مستر اللي هو مؤسس منصة بايبت اللي عطانا توقعات وقراءة جدا جميلة، بحيث تتوقع صعود سوق العملات الرقمية مرة أخرى في شهر مارس. لكن العالم يشهد حروب، لكن هل السوق بيحترم نظرة مؤسس منصة بايبت اللي لا نظرة مختلفة عن الجميع؟ وغير هذا في هذا الفيديو عطانا قراءة جدا جميلة عن بعض العملات القوية واللي ذات المشاريع. لقاء جدا جميل، ما بطول عليكم، خلينا ننتقل ونشوف اللقاء. Hi Mr. Ben, how are you?
I'm good.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I will ask you in the Arabic and you will answer me in the English.
Yes, all good.
ما هي الإشارة الواحدة التي إذا رأيتها تعرف فوراً أن Altseason حقيقي بدأ؟
First of all, I want to share that Altseason is probably not going to come to my personal view, because if you look at what happened this cycle, you only had Hyperliquid, Ethereum, which is stable coin, and then maybe a little bit of poly market. All of these other altcoins is kind of happen and then disappeared.
Yes.
So I think altcoin will still happen, but I think people will pay less and less attention because only the infrastructure gradually will last. So I think maybe still another meme season will come. If you ask me when is a signal, probably look at Solana. Solana is obviously the leading things in community-driven, meme-driven things. And if it's become active there, liquidity is better, then maybe it's a signal, maybe.
إذا اضطررت أن تراهن على مشروع واحد فقط سيتحول إلى مشروع كبير دون اختيار البيتكوين والإيثيريوم، وليش؟
One project, does it have to be a token project or it has to be a token project? Yes. Because I think more in the long run, yeah? And I think recently what we've been looking at is RWA and the future of tokenizing RWAs and things like that. I used to think, a lot of the infrastructure like stablecoin, I think Ethereum was really good, but Ethereum had a bit of issue during the thing. So that needs to be more battle tested, right? I'm quite excited about Ondo and Xstock, who are tokenized stock. I think that will play a big future if compliance regulatory things are solved. And I do see even now a lot more clients are trading Xstock and Ondo. I think those are exciting, to me.
السؤال الثالث، ما هو الخطأ الذي يرتكبه 90% من المتداولين ويمنعهم من تحقيق الثروة حتى لو كانوا على منصات قوية؟
The biggest problem that trader makes is they are not consistent. What we've seen is typically consistency is the most important. When I say not consistent, it's typically you have one trading strategy, but you get influenced because you see it's winning or losing, you change. And the moment you change, you are letting your emotion affecting your strategy. You don't follow the strategy. So I always believe there is not a single strategy that works, but instead be consistent with the strategy is more important. So again, don't trade trading as gambling, because you use your emotion, your self-doubt, you had a plan of exit point, entry point, and you don't execute because you see the market, you get your emotion affects you, then you are not really trading, So that's the problem, I think. Yeah.
هل هناك حدث اقتصادي أو سياسي قادم إذا صار بيغير كامل لعبة الكريبتو في ليلة واحدة؟
Change the complete game overnight.
Change the game.
Completely change the game, huh? That's a good question. Let me think. The biggest challenge now is all the different regulators globally have different standard. Although we've seen that US, Europe, Southeast Asia, even Brazil, Turkey, they are all embracing crypto. But everyone is at the beginning phase of testing things out. There isn't a unified system to really connect everyone together. People say maybe stablecoin, but many countries, let's say, people are against US stablecoins. Because people think stablecoins equals US dollar, but that means everyone have to embrace US dollar in that sense. So there isn't actually a unified format and agreement on what crypto we can embrace all together to really connect the whole thing together. So I think maybe there's one thing is there's a global standard on remittance on stablecoin, a format of stablecoin, how it works, interacts. That would probably change the game completely, meaning that crypto now is becoming the new financial system, which I think is the future, right? Yeah.
سؤال يعتبر قوي. هل يوجد تحالف غير معلن بين كبار منصات الكريبتو للتحكم بحركات العملات؟ هل بايبت جزء منه؟
No. At least not
No
that.
for Bybit, right?
Not that we are aware of. And it, to be very frank, it don't. If someone wants to do it, they don't need all the exchanges. If you have few big players, you can make impact.
Yes.
So, but if your question is, do we still see manipulation happening in the market? Is it by an act of group of people? We do see that, but not necessarily other exchanges, because at least from our perspective, exchange make money on trading fees. It's a perfect model that already is very profitable. Why would you risk that model to do something to make quick money?
Yes.
Right? But manipulation happens especially during this October 11th after. We've seen a group of people manipulate the price on spot market and try to get people liquidated on the derivative market. So that's why you see a lot of the ADL, auto deleveraging, happens on altcoin. This caused a lot of institutions, especially do base trading arbitrage, to not be able to do the strategy. So that's why in this bear market, we've seen altcoin liquidity dry up, because market makers is scared to go to these altcoins because they get ADL and then they have one-side exposure, which is a problem this cycle. So that's all caused by a lot of the group manipulation that happens. Initially, first started from Hyperliquid. You know how Hyperliquid, the vote gets drained out, and now they move this whole strategy into a centralized exchange. So it's a bit of a problem, but we're trying to solve. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. هل تتوقع أن الحكومات ستنشأ منصاتها الخاصة لمنافسة منصات الكريبتو وإجبار المستخدمين على ترك المنصات الحالية؟
So far we haven't seen that. So far it sounds, well, at least state-owned company, this sounds like an old China communist style. Even China don't do it anymore,
Yes.
right? So I think the regulator typically plays a role of only regulating, but they don't become, you cannot be the goalkeeper and then the player, right? So what we've seen is that some governments are very proactive in helping the industry players. Actually, we talked to Vietnam. They have releasing a new framework, but they only issue the license to the banks. So in a way, you can think, because a lot of the banks is related to the government, but the concern you can see is that they worry that crypto it becomes abusive to the users, and especially they worry about security issues. So they think bank have enough money to cover its client's asset if anything happens. So that's kind of the angle we've seen the countries mostly participating. But for the rest, it's really they leave the private sector to do their things. Yeah. Yeah.
من هو أكبر متلاعب بالسوق اليوم؟ أقصد شخص وليش؟
Probably Luna. I think Luna, you know the...
not coin and token, human.
I know the guy from Luna. What's his name?
Daguan.
Yeah, Daguan. I think he himself caused the whole bear market crash, right? And if you talk about someone else, maybe, I don't know, FTX, who caused another problem. So the space is becoming bigger, but unfortunately, individual decisions can cause a huge damage to the industry and even cause a bear market, right? Yeah.
Not Donald Trump, right?
Donald Trump? No.
هل الذكاء الاصطناعي سيصبح متداولا أفضل من البشر؟ وهل بايبت تعمل على أدوات AI للتنبؤ بالسوق؟
AI is already, a lot of firms we see, trading firms are using it to execute trading strategies. What is really good is detecting different market patterns. When a pattern happens, they apply certain different strategies. And they use machine learnings to learn the past behaviors to trade. So we've seen that particularly is good for market neutral strategies to discover market inefficiency and make some money. So high frequency trading firms already use it. But for other type of, let's say, long-term investment onto a token that you believe in, I don't think AI can make this type of human decisions. It can only execute what the human wants. Okay. So yeah, that's my belief. Yeah.
The last question.
Yeah.
الاختراقات اللي تصير حول العالم اليوم صارت واقع، لكن القليل يرجع أقوى بعدها. كيف قدرت بايبت تحول التهديد اللي واجهته إلى نقطة قوة خلت المستخدمين يثقون فيكم أكثر؟
So our goal for Bybit is always to be the number one in the world. We achieved that by getting hacked. So we are the highest amount for hacked, which is unfortunate. But I think it also showed how the industry is different than any other industry. Because after FTX, all the exchange applied one-to-one reserve, which bank doesn't do. Bank does maybe partial reserve, like 20% maybe, yeah? So even that day, it showed that Bybit is resilient to bank run. So people trying to bank run, we were okay. We never struck withdrawal. Second thing, it shows that when this thing happened, we were able to cover good corporate governance, and also a lot of people believed in Bybit more because of the way we handle it. I went on a stream and talked about it. At the time, it was against my compliance and legal and lawyers' advice. They all said, "Ben, do not do that." Yes, but don't do a live stream, So I did a live stream. So I think it was a good decision, but it really showed the industry we can be transparent. We can face a problem without a regulator, and we have ways to solve the things, become a catastrophic event, which could have became, right? But in retrospect, I think we learned a lot. We improved our infrastructure. We used the third party. That's why we got hacked. So now we don't use the third party. We were internal HSM, MPC solutions. So now we are very confident in the security part. But again, regulator partners started trusted Bybit after. So it was a good thing in the end to look at it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. إذا أعطيتك ورقة وقلم الآن ارسم لي كيف تتوقع شكل سوق الكريبتو في 2025 و26 البيتكوين ترسمها لوحده والالتسيزون ترسمها لوحده.
I think it's gonna Bart, no. So I think it's gonna go a little bit not interesting because it's holiday season.
Yes.
Holiday season, normally people don't trade. So typically you see holiday season. But then after that, I'm hoping it's gonna go up like this. Yeah. So that's what I'm hoping. Yes.
In the which month?
Sorry?
In the which month?
I would predict maybe March. Yeah.
Altseason.
Sorry?
Altseason or
You asked me many times about Altseason. You're very excited about Altseason.
Everyone wants to know which time he will be come rally.
Yeah, come rally. Okay. Meme coins? Okay, yeah. Hopefully, with Altseasons, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you
for everything.
Okay, thank you guys.
For your time.
Thank you. All right, man. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
أتمنى استفدتوا من اللقاء. للمعلومية كان لنا أسئلة أخرى تحت تصوير بحيث جاوبنا مستر بن على أسئلة مهمة وخطيرة، وهذه الأسئلة نحن قدرنا نعرف السوق وين بيروح أو حتى شو العملات اللي ممكن تغير المشهد. لذلك إذا شفت تفاعل حلو ممكن نسوي لكم حلقة أخرى ونتكلم عن شو اللي قاله مستر بن ونوضح فيه كل هذا الشيء. وغير هذا اللي ما سجل في بايبت شو يتريا رابط منصة بايبت أسفل الفيديو، وإذا عندكم أي أسئلة وأي اقتراحات يا مرحبا بالجميع. كذا خلصنا، يعطيكم العافية وموفق خير.